Good afternoon. We're back. We're back at it. And I hear there's a new Visual Studio out there. What's up, Wilo Gamer Pro? How are you? Good to see you again. Pin that message. I wonder if Nightbot's working again. Let's see. Commands. Let's see if Nightbot's working. I tried to reset it up while I was gone this afternoon, but it doesn't look like it fixed it. Hello, Laramike Studio. How are you? Huh. This is so weird. Nightbot says it's online. It's not. Let's see. Nightbot unignore. I wonder if somehow I've Let's see. Nightbot says the Nightbot help documentation says this. It says if you're still having trouble, make sure Nightbot is a moderator in your chat. Nightbot is not banned. Let's see. I'm not on Twitch. If you're on YouTube, your stream must be live. You may need to restart your stream. You must be looking at live chat, not top chat. Huh. Hey, is that Toad Sage? I can't tell you. Did you change your profile picture? I can't read your name. Lara Mike, good man. What bro doing? Well, Nightbot's commands don't currently work, I don't think. But my plan is to try out the new Visual Studio. I saw a tweet earlier that says there is a release of Visual Studio 2026, like an insider's build. So I think I'm gonna try to install that and give that a try. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's like Nightbot's here, but it's like Nightbot doesn't. Do you guys see Nightbot on the YouTube stream? Because I don't see him in OBS. Hey, Toad Sage, how are you? Yeah, I didn't recognize you for a second with the certified Toad Sage. Certified, yeah. I didn't recognize you with the new profile picture. Hey, Arvin, how are you? Good to see you again. Sorry, I kind of got distracted there with the whole Nightbot conversation. It's frustrating me because I really, really like the functionality that Nightbot provides, and I don't understand like why it's not working. Yeah, getting it a lot. Well, whenever you change your profile picture, I mean, it's a big deal. Aman, I just watched one of your short videos in which you say you are 32 years old and have 2 children. Is that true? I thought you were around 22 to 25 years old. Yeah, maybe I have. Maybe it's because I'm a little. I carry a little bit. Like, I could probably stand to lose like 20, 30 pounds. Um, so maybe it's like because my face is a little fuller, I look a little younger, more of a baby face. But no, yeah, I'm 32. I've got 2 kiddos, a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old. It is a true story. I'm old for these YouTube world. Or I guess I'm old for this YouTube world. Arvin, I'm fine. How about you? I'm good, Arvin. Yeah, nothing to complain. I've been kind of MIA here on YouTube because we recently moved. That's why my background and stuff looks a little bit different. We moved, so for the last week or so, I've been spending most of my free time just picking up objects, moving them places, and then setting them back down. Toad states, I'm not the one who has control to change the PFPS of mine. What's PFPS? Is that profile picture? So you don't control that? Who controls that if you don't control it? Who's changing your profile picture for you? That's super, super odd. Alright, so what we're here to do today is I saw a tweet on X earlier by Mads Christensen, and I believe he works on the Visual Studio team. I'm actually not 100%. Yeah, he works on the Visual Studio team, and I'm pretty sure. Where did I see it? This one right here. No, that's Amanda Silver. She's the VP of. I think Amanda Silver's the VP of the Dev division over there at Microsoft. Yeah, here we go. I saw that. I mean, this was 2 days ago, but I just saw this today in my feed. Let's see. Visual Studio 2026 Insiders is now available for download. Check out the announcements and try it out yourself. I don't even think I have Visual Studio installed on this machine, do I? Oh yeah, I do. I have Visual Studio 2022. Okay, so let's go to the blog and see what it's all about. It's very exciting. If you're not a C# dev, I get it, but if you're a C# dev, it's always exciting when you get a new IDE. Wow, you really look far younger than your age. I think not having a beard also plays a role in that. How old were you when you got married? So I met my wife when I was 15. So I'm 32 now. I started dating my wife when I was 15. So at this point in my life, I've literally been with my wife longer than I lived without her at this point. So I was 15, she was 17. I was a sophomore in high school, she was a senior. We got married my senior year of college. So like I graduated in May of 2015 and we got married in April of 2015. So we've been married for just over 10 years now. Arvin, moving from one house to another is tough. All the unboxing stuff. Ooh, yeah, it's the worst. Moving is the worst. And inevitably when you're moving, you end up discovering that you have way more shit than what you thought you did, and then you're left asking yourself like, why do I have all this shit, right? Because it's just more work to move, and if I didn't know it was here before, why do I have it anyways? So it's a good opportunity to purge things from your life as well. Let's see. What makes it better from Rider? I don't know if, well, there is some proprietary things in Visual Studio. Like, I think the debugger is proprietary. I don't think the debugger is open source. Visual Studio Debugger open source. I think the debugger is closed source. Yeah, it's not total. So there's some proprietary things in Visual Studio, and I will say, like, if I ever have to do like multi-thread debugging or um, profiling or anything like that, or looking at a dump file, I almost always use Visual Studio. Rider is really good too, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with Rider either, but I mean, it's just new, right? It's something new, right? So what's what's there not to love about a new shiny toy? So I don't know if it's necessarily better, but it's something fun to look at. Arvin, you had a home gym, right? All the gym stuff have been hard to move around, I guess. Yeah, the gym is never fun to move. So yeah, like um, having a home gym is wonderful. I think I put this on Blue Sky. I think I made a post about this on Blue Sky that having a home gym is really, really wonderful. I think I was in the middle of moving when I posted this. Yeah, right here. Having a home gym is really wonderful until you move. Because you have to move it all. And I think in total, like, I probably moved over 1,000 pounds of weights alone, right? Because I've got my plate weights, like my barbell weights. I've got my dumbbells. Like I have two 100-pound dumbbells, right? So there alone is a couple 100 pounds. Um, so yeah, never fun to move all that stuff, but it's a necessity, right? When you have a home gym, you just got to get used to it. I'm 23, and with everything I see these days on YouTube and Insta had made me afraid of getting married. Um, well, I think you should worry less about, in my opinion, I think you should worry less about like getting married, so to speak, meaning like officially marrying somebody. I think you should worry more about finding a partner for your life. If that's something you want, right? If that's something you're interested in, I think you should be focused more on, is this somebody I want to build a life with? That's what's more that's what's most important, right? Marriage, or if marriage is involved, great. If it's not, who cares? What's more important is that this is like your life partner and you guys are going to work together to build something together. I think that's the most important part. All right, so what do we got here? Obviously, they open with AI, right? Like, why not? um let's see what else is in here. AI integrated development. AI in Visual 26 isn't bolted on. It's woven into the daily rhythms of coding. Okay, wonderful. So Microsoft is jumping aboard the uh, the AI editor train, which is fine. I mean, Visual Studio has a ton of AI functionality now embedded into it. So okay, blazingly fast. This catches my eye because anybody who's worked with Visual Studio knows you start loading up really large solutions into Visual Studio with ReSharper installed, and all of a sudden things become not so snappy. The gains show up on larger code bases. Well, I think that's great. A modern look and feel. Clarity matters when you live in an IDE. Visual Studio 2026 introduces a cleaner, more modern visual language. A visual language. I'm guessing a designer wrote this. You'll notice crispier lines. You just gotta love crispy lines. Managing extensions is straightforward. So I felt like extensions in Visual Studio were kind of clunky. Like, how do I install and manage? And so I'm glad that got maybe a redesign or approach it differently. Visual Studio 2026 redesigned using Fluent UI. Ooh, cool. Fluent UI. That's a UI library, huh? A collection of UX frameworks for creating beautiful cross-platform apps that share code, design, and interaction behavior. Very cool. Okay. Well, we're learning. We're learning about why we're learning about why Visual Studio 2026 is going to be different. Let's see, Visual Studio 2026 installs side by side with earlier versions. If you're on Visual Studio 2022, hey, that's me. You can import components and settings to get coding right away. Fantastic. Arvin, that's the same in the United States, honestly. Like getting married in the United States it's a big, it's a big financial economic decision. Honestly. Because you're essentially financially, unless you put in place some sort of prenup or some sort of contract, you're kind of, yeah, you're tied at the hip for life in a lot of ways. Especially if you have kids, like, yeah, you guys are forever attached to one another. Laramek. I got to write some C# today, and what I noticed is it's almost the same with Java. Oh, cool. So other people have told me that, Laramike. Um, Other people have told me that if you know C#, you can learn Java really easily. If you know Java, you can learn C# really easy. And I'm pretty sure, like, people tell me that C# was Microsoft's answer to Java. Like that, all that stuff predates me ever sitting down and writing a line of code. So I just take other people's word for it, but that makes sense. Gun Haziz, you're back. Slept well? I did. So yeah, I'm back. But when you saw me this morning, it's like the same day for me. So it's like this morning it was 10. It was like when you saw me this morning, it was like 9:30 a.m. my time, and now it's 3:20 p.m. my time. It's like I'm writing Java, but just a little bit advanced. Oh, very cool. C# is Java done right. Yeah. Have you guys? So I did not know this. I saw a short by. I can't take credit for this. I saw a short by the Primogen, and he pointed this out to me. So you know how there's Node, right? So there's Node JS. Yeah, everyone knows this. Okay, so now there's Dino, right? This is Dino. So the Primogen pointed out that Dino is Node sorted out, right? So like, how clever is that, right? Like, and it is Deno. It's alphabetical. A B C D E F G A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O. Right? Yeah. So it's all sorted out, which I thought was like so clever of Ryan Dahl to do that. Blew my mind. I never thought of that before. So, but maybe C# should have taken that approach, right? What is Java sorted out? What's Java sorted? Um, I don't even know. Java sorted out. Java. Oops. Whoopsies. What is it? What did I do? A minus B or something like that? Oh, it's not. Dot split. Can I just call this with like the default? Oh, is that already sorted? No, that's not sorted. Obj? Yeah, I don't know what you would call that, but but maybe that's the approach Java or C# should have taken. It should have never been called C#. It should have been called something else. Avj. Yeah, you guys were at me. If you don't pay that, they send you to prison. What? Hold on. Here, the moment you marry your wife is legally allowed to ask you a pre-agreed sum of money. The problem here is that the amount of agreed upon is usually equivalent of kilograms of gold. Oh my God. If you don't pay that, that sounds horrible. Is that a real thing, Arvin? Or are you just pulling my leg? Because that, yeah, if that was the consideration I had to make before I married somebody, I might think twice. Gun Haziz. I don't know if you know, but before C#, Microsoft actually got its own Java approach, and it was called Visual J++. I did not know that. I did not know that. That's very interesting. Arvin, it's a cultural thing, but wife and her family will ask for equivalent of kilos of money. That's wild, man. That's wild. Arvin, AJV, sorted set. I mean, I'm not trying to, and I hope nobody thinks that I'm trying to shit on Java. Like, I'm not trying to say I'm not saying C# is better than Java, because I've never written a line of Java in my life. I just think it's kind of cool that, like, if you're gonna try to make a better version of the previous thing, it's clever to name it the sorted version of that previous thing. I would not be smart enough to do that. Alright, so let's see if we can install this. Do you think we can install this with Winget? That's how I prefer to... Oh, let's watch the teaser. Is this loud? I guess I should probably turn that down. That's probably a little loud, isn't it? Let me pause my music. Shit on Javas and you have to deal with me. I'm not. I promise, Arvin, I'm not. I would never do such a thing. Okay, that's the teaser. I would shit on Java. I wrote in Java and C# at first was a I wrote in Java and C# at first was a Java clone, but now two different languages where C# took a big lead. Well, again, it's like hard for me to offer an opinion because I've never written. I do know I did hear or saw a presentation where, like, there's some big projects going on in the Java ecosystem to, I guess, make it better. So who knows? People are always working on making stuff better. So I think I want community, but can I install this just from Winget? Visual Studio 2026 Winget? I would much prefer to use Winget to install it. The Insiders release can be installed using Winget. And Microsoft released the first. Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna do the download. I'm just gonna take the straightforward approach here. Download Visual Studio Community. See how this goes. Let's see, Visual Studio Code Installer. C and C++ is better than everything in certified Asians know. Select how you want to configure. I don't know. I've never written any C or C++, so I'd have to take your word for it. Let's see. You can match workloads, components, extensions, and settings from previous Visual Studio instance, import, or start a new install. I think I'll just migrate from 2022. Include market, yes, we should include market. Include out of support, no, do not include out of support things. All right, let's see what happens. This is probably not the easiest thing to do on a tiny little vertical screen, is it? So we have Node, Azure, Python. We have the multi-platform. I guess these are all things I already have. These are all the things I already have. That's fine. Install while downloading. Look, it's gonna take 20 gigs of space. You see this? I don't know if you guys can see that. 20 gigabytes. Okay, fair enough. Install. And now we just wait. I didn't think about this actually when I decided that this is what I was going to do on stream today. I didn't realize that probably part of this would require us installing stuff. But it's actually going pretty good. It's going pretty fast, right? Hey, what's up, Suhas? Vim is better. Yes, NeoVim and I mean NeoVim's great. I've not used Vim as like an editor per se very much, except on like servers when I've SSH'd into a server. But there is an extension for Visual Studio that lets you use Vim motions, right? So as long, I mean, I am in love with Vim motions. I'm not very good at them, but I'm in love with working that way, having a kind of a keyboard flow. So as long as I can set up some version of Vim motions in an editor, I'm happy. All right, now we're installing. Hopefully, do you think this requires me to restart my computer? I hope not. This is why people have dual. This is why people have dual computer streaming setups, right? They can have the stream on one and then do things on the other. Let's see. In Link, for example, Java got streams, but Link is easier and cleaner. In UI approaches, it's way easier to develop UI UX in C Sharp than Java. Interesting. I've not done much UI UX in C Sharp, so I'll take your word for it. Link though, I love Link. I can't imagine C Sharp without Link because since I've been writing C Sharp, Link has been a thing. So it would feel weird to not be able to say dot select dot where, dot where dot select dot to list. That would feel weird. C sharp, brother. Let's go. Hello, Moxim, I think. Yeah, C sharp is great. I love C sharp. So that's what we're doing right now. We're actually checking out or we're trying to check out the new Visual Studio. So we'll see. We're gonna see what that's like. I don't usually myself use Visual Studio. 9 times out of 10, I'm using NeoVim or I'm using Visual Studio Code with the C Sharp Dev Kit. Um, I don't know. I just always feel like Visual Studio is like the cockpit of a F-16, and there's way too many bells and whistles for the stuff I'm doing. But maybe the new Visual Studio will change my mind. Supposedly, it's been all redesigned. Moxim. I have a Vim Motions plugin for Visual Studio, and it's pretty bad. Yeah, I probably have the same one. I probably have the same one. It could be better, but at least, I mean, it gets you there, right? I mean, you can at least navigate your file using the basic, JK type of stuff, which is all I'm really looking for most of the time. Suhas, Microsoft Java. Yeah, that's actually Suhas earlier before you got here. That's what we were talking about in chat about how um like Java or C Sharp was kind of Microsoft's answer to Java. Somebody in chat also said that there was something called uh Visual J++ or something. Yeah. Microsoft's discontinued implementation of Java. I didn't even know this existed till the stream today. Hey Steven, have you checked out the Zed editor? Yes, I've checked out Zed and I've also checked out Helix. But when I say check them out, I mean like I used them for like an hour. and then abandoned them. So, excuse me, that was a big yawn. Steven, what do you think? C sharp is less than Java, is less than Python, is less than Go? Hot take. Well, I don't consider it a hot take. I mean, everyone's got their opinion. I think that's a completely valid ranking. Um, I think for me, my ranking would probably be, well, I've never written any Java, so I kind of have to put Java at the very end. It doesn't mean it's bad, but it's just I don't know anything about it. So for me, it'd probably be, what would it be? It'd be Java is less than Python. Python is less than Go, and Go is less than C sharp. So I'd almost invert your list almost a little bit. Christoph, ooh, 2026. I'm excited. Yeah, I was excited too. I guess this came out 2 days ago, but I saw this post by this fella Mads Christensen. This is the other Mads. So there's two Mads that work at Microsoft, or two prominent, I guess I should say, Mads that work at Microsoft. Um, there's this Mads, I believe, who's on the Visual Studio team, and then there's Mads who's on the C Sharp team, who does like the language design. He basically took over for Anders Heilsberg. But I saw this tweet earlier after my morning stream and was like, "This is what I'm going to do on stream today." So that's what we're doing. Should be starting up here pretty soon. I'm excited to see what it looks visually like, because it said it was redesigned, so I'm excited to see if it's actually significantly different. Here we go. There's a little pop-up notification that popped up in my notification that says optimizing Visual Studio, and then below it says Visual Studio is optimizing .NET assemblies. So I wonder what, I've never seen that before. Oh, here we go. Sign into Visual Studio. Okay, I guess I'll sign in with GitHub. Continue. Authorize. Probably do this off screen. Let's just use my password. Confirm. All right, now we get to pick our color scheme. Let's see. Choose your color scheme. Dark. Yes, I want dark. And then um, I think I'll just do development settings of general. I honestly don't know what those other options do. So I'll just leave this general. See you, Toad Sage. Thanks for stopping by, man. All right, here's what it looks like. Here's the start screen. So this is a little bit different, right? This is normally these options are much more prominent. They're also, I think, these options in Visual Studio 2022 are on the left side of the screen or something like that. This definitely looks different. Maxim, we use Visual Studio for our Legacy Net Framework desktop app. Oh, very cool. Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine Visual Studio is used by quite a few people still, especially in the enterprise world. Yeah, I want to see the GUI. Yeah, me too. That's what I'm most interested in is looking at the user interface. So let's take a look. It actually looks pretty similar at first glance to me. So let me close some of these windows really quick. Okay, so I would say this looks very familiar, right? Although this is, so this like, can I make this bigger? I probably should zoom in. Let's see, view. I don't know how to make this bigger. Can I make it bigger? Window. Um, yeah, I don't know. This might be as good as it gets as far as the size of the screen. In any event, this toolbar looks different. It has like a border to it, and the icons are a little different. Let's see. Let's open Copilot. There's the chat window, which you can drag around. The fact that this undocks is really nice, right? Because like when you're working with Copilot, you almost always want it in a separate window. Um, because having it as a sidebar alongside your code is kind of what's the word? It's cluttered, I guess is the word I'm looking for. I think there's a little bit more like rounded edges. Oh, GPT-5 Mini is now part of the standard model. Oh, I didn't know that. F 2026. I'm still unemployed. I got job offers, but my portfolio is not done and scared. Oh, well, that's awesome that you got job offers. Um, keep working on your portfolio, but don't be scared. Like it'll be fine. It'll be good. It's all gonna work out. Gun heist. It gives Microsoft Office 365 vibes. Yeah, I would agree. Your Fluent 2 design. Yeah, exactly. And they call that out in the release notes, Fluent 2 design. I think you'll be able to use Windows scaling to 150 to zoom the whole. Oh, that's a good idea. Is that gonna screw? That might screw with my Let's see what that does. Let me try to make it a little bit bigger. It may. Hold on. This may be. This may disrupt the view of the stream. So just hang. Hold on to your hats for a second here. Let's see. Which one are we on? We're on 2. So let's try to make this 150. Yeah. That's a little bigger, right? Yeah, yeah, it's still bigger and it's yeah, okay. Everything looks good still. All right, so should we try to open let's try to open a solution now. Yeah, this like you said somebody said who was it? Was it Christoph? No, it was Gunhigh says gives Microsoft Office 365. It does give Microsoft Office 365 vibes. But so far I like it. Like so far it's like it's familiar, but it's definitely new, right? Which I think is important. If you want adoption of the new thing, it has to be familiar, but it has to feel shiny, right? It's like if it's too different, people aren't going to want to use it. Let's open a solution. I can't believe people work with their screen at 150%. Like, do you guys set your displays at 150%? This is too crammed. I don't understand that either. When you open the display settings on a Windows laptop, the display always recommends 150%. Do people actually do that? Like, it's too crowded. It's too crowded. All right, we need to get to my. I don't even know what I'm looking for. Yeah, I'm looking for this. Repositories. Let's open a multi-project solution. So let's just open Steve's bot. This is what we were working on yesterday, which I finished. By the way, I finished the implementation from yesterday. The undocking feature gives me a Visual Studio 6 vibes from 1998. Well, I feel like I'm a fan of being able to take windows apart. Like that to me, like Visual Studio now you can open the chat in a separate the Copilot chat in a separate window. You can create terminal in separate window. Um, I'm a fan of that. So if that's old school or if it feels old, I'm glad they brought it back. Suhas, why Boar can't say fuck? Steven is censored. Steven is censored. You should be able. If I'm blocking you from saying fuck, if my chat is blocked from saying from saying fuck, I'm kind of a hypocrite because I say that word a lot. Yeah, you're right. Let's agree that Fluent 2 design is actually pleasant to look at. Microsoft can indeed UI. Yeah, I think it's pleasant. Yeah, I've never had an issue though with most of Microsoft's interface. I know that's a hot take because a lot of people don't like it, but To me, it's fine. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, I guess I have 6 projects in here. Okay, so there's your good old output window. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is very familiar. I will say that. I will say this looks like Visual Studio, right? So I think in my mind, I was expecting it to be much, much different, but it's not. It's very familiar. So let's open, how do we open the File Explorer? Yeah, Solution Explorer. That's what we want. And there's your good old Solution Explorer, right? Everyone should feel right at home in here. Got our sources, got our tests. I guess this is highlighted because this is our startup project. Is that why? Yeah. And then I like the iconography. Like the iconography looks good, right? Look at all these new icons. Well, they're not. I shouldn't say they're new, but yeah, I'm a fan. I like it. I like the hot reload. Hot reload looks good. Yeah, so far I mean, I think the biggest thing for me is to use I need to use it um and build with it and see how the performance is. Like, does it feel as snappy? I definitely think it feels snappier. Like even just dragging these windows around feels snappy. Let's open a file. Actually, let's open the terminal. What does the terminal look like? Oh, let's close the output window. What's the terminal look like in here? Um, I don't think this has the right PowerShell. Yeah, this is Windows PowerShell, and I want like the cross-platform PowerShell. So I guess I have to add that. Clip, sorry, fast recap. Clip, we're just taking a look at so I write a lot of C sharp, and I saw a tweet from Mads Christensen, who's on the, gosh dang it, I just scratched myself. I saw a tweet earlier today from Mads Christensen, who's on the Visual Studio team at Microsoft. And basically, it was announcing, this was 2 days ago, so this has been out for a little while, but announcing that there's an insider's version of the new version of Visual Studio that's coming out next year. And so I was like, you know what, I want to give that a try. So that's what we're doing. We're just taking a kind of a tour, a gander at it. No real plans for the stream other than that. Pablo, that's no Neovin. You're a trader now. I'm not. I guess you could classify me as a trader. I still like Neovim. I like to spread. I like to like all the things. I don't know how you can tolerate such a small window. Yeah, it's kind of difficult. It does hinder my productivity, and it does make it sometimes difficult, but at the moment when I stream vertically, I get many more views and much more interaction on stream. So I put up with it for now. Gun haze, damn, it looks good. I think it does. I think it does look good too, for sure. I think it looks great. Let's see if I can get my. So this should be Power Shell, and then I'm just gonna take my settings from Windows Terminal. Here we go. Get this guy. Oh, that's nice. They have a place for arguments. Maybe they've always had that. Again, I'm not the most savvy Visual Studio user. I use it very sparingly. And let's make this the default. And then let's close that, and then let's open the terminal again. There we go. Okay, so obviously I'm not using the right font, so we need to change that. See how those icons are missing? That means my font is wrong. So how do we change that? So file. I mean, it should just be in settings, right? So if I open, let's see, count settings. No, that's not right. Like I love the fact that all the windows are just like they can be docked and they can sort of live in the IDE, but then they can just be separated into their own window on the machine, which is nice. Dismal. Yo, I remember seeing this in preview. Oh, really? Yeah, this is the first time I've seen it. So far I like it. Like I don't have any complaints. NeoVim gives you more real estate for sure, for sure. You could also try Zen mode. Does this have a Zen mode? Excuse me. Rider has a Zen mode, which I really like. I'm guessing this does too. I just don't know how to get to it. Back to the settings you were in before. NerdFont is the best. The terminal settings. Oh, you think that's where it is? Oh, this is all settings. Yeah, so this is probably where it is. You're probably right. Let's see font. Let's just search for font. Let's see text editor, advanced, more settings, visual experience, separate font settings from color scheme. Font and colors. Here we go. That looks blurry. Why does that look blurry to me? Huh, that's weird. Like this whole, doesn't this like this whole side looks blurry? Does it look blurry to you guys? It looks blurry to me. But this side doesn't look blurry. Huh. I wonder if that's because I bumped my display to 150%. Let's see, we want Cascadia Cove. Yeah, this is the one I use everywhere. Yeah, text editor, but I also want it for the terminal too. Nerd fonts are the greatest. Okay, let's close that. And then let's try to reopen the terminal. Did I not save that? Gosh dang it. Yeah, that's an old dialogue, probably no high DPI support. I'm so I'm so glad there are people in chat that know more than I do. Okay, it looks like it's set correctly, so I wonder why. Yeah, text editor. Maybe I need to close it and reopen it, maybe? Okay, I guess I'll just try closing it. Dude, this 150 this 100 and uh this 150% display is nuts. So why is it's still saying I'm missing icons. Huh. Do you think that's a me problem or do you think that's a I have it working in 2022. See, Visual Studio 2022. I think I have it working over here correctly. Oh, I guess I've literally never opened Visual Studio 2022 on this machine. Yeah, I'm sure I want to exit it. Wow, that was weird. After countless of brain-rotted content, I finally found some really good live stream on YouTube Shorts. Where are you from? I'm in Kansas, Flux X. Yo body, yo. The 100th VS Code fork? No, this is Visual Studio. So this is Visual Studio Code's dad. Nomad. So sorry, I just popped in, but what ID is this? The ID we're looking at right now is the new Visual Studio. It's right now it's Visual Studio Insider. It's the Insider build, but it is Visual Studio 2026. It's supposed to release next year, I think. Flux, what is this about? What's going on? We're just basically taking a look at the new Visual Studio. That's all that's going on today. Sometimes on stream I'll code, I'll work on like actual programming problems, but today we're just taking a stroll through the new Visual Studio. CB49, I Heart VS. Yeah, I feel like VS is a very polarizing topic. Um, Pablo J Sharp, best lang. Yeah. What are you gonna do, right? What are you gonna do? Okay. Well, I'm not gonna fixate on the terminal because I'm not trying. So what else do we want to look at? Let's look at some of the context menus, right? So let's go into let's go into a file and let's close that out. What does right click look like? So the context menu looks almost identical except for the icons. I think the icons are different, but the options look all the same. I think this is a really good approach in my opinion, right? If you're gonna take an approach at like updating the UI of something, you pretty much like for the most part, most things in Visual Studio seem to be in the same place. But it seems fresh. I can't really speak to the performance. It does feel snappier. I like the rounded corners. I'll say the rounded edge, the border radius on everything. I like. I know some people don't like that, but I like that. Rounded corners on everything. J Sharp. It exists. J Sharp exists. What are so today I learned about visual. I learned about Visual J++ today. And now I'm hearing there's something called J Sharp. Visual J Sharp is a discontinued implementation of the J Sharp. What the fuck is this? Oh, interesting. So it's somehow related to Visual J++. This is wild. They could use their existing. So it was. This was a transitional language for programmers of Java, so they could use their existing knowledge and applications with the .NET framework. Ah, man, Microsoft put a lot of work into trying to steal market share from Java, didn't it? I mean, I probably sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, but honestly, like all of this stuff, like when all of this stuff was happening, my biggest concern was trying to like start varsity as a freshman in high school on the varsity football team. That's what I cared about. I wasn't like computers and programming weren't even on my radar at the time. Huh. Well, there you go. You got, you guys educate me again. The menu wrapping around like that looks awful. Which on the context menu? Oh, you mean having the arrow buttons at the bottom and the top? You don't care for that? I don't know. This looks okay. What would you rather? A scroll bar, like a scroll bar on the side? Okay, don't hate me, but I was literally writing data packs for MC in normal text editors and praying it worked because I'm dumb and didn't even know what VS was. Then my friend was like, "What the hell?" Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think that's like There's just the world is so big. There's so many tools. There's so much technology. It's impossible for everyone to be aware of all things. You know what I mean? Follow file, edit, and so on takes 3 lines. That's the one I was referring to. File, edit. Oh, maybe, yeah. I guess I see what you mean. I don't, why does that do that? See that? Like I go from edit and now I'm on view, but I can't tell that I'm on view. That's kind of weird. Oh, you're literally talking about this. You're talking about how that's on 3 separate lines. Mm. So you would prefer that to scroll visually? This is interesting. It's interesting hearing what people pick up on in a UI. This is not where I live most of my life, so it's interesting to hear people pick out stuff like that. I will agree, it doesn't look the best, but I'm I'm streaming on a little like I'm not really. I mean, no one would actually use this in this window, right? Like no one would actually work day to day. I like this though. I like how the breadcrumb are separated and have like this like a different background. I like that. Makes it stand out. C sharp, J sharp, J plus plus. Yeah. There are too many there are too many languages. Too many to remember. Yes, sir. What's going on? Yes, sir. We're just kind of we're so there's a new version of Visual Studio that's out called Visual Studio 2026. It's actually right now it's the insider build of Visual Studio. But yeah, you can go download it, install it, and give it a go. And so that's what we're doing. We're not really doing any programming per se. We're just kind of looking at the GUI, and Pablo's calling out what he doesn't like, and I'm saying what I do like and don't like, and that's all we're doing. I'm happy with it, honestly. I don't. I thought when I installed it though, I thought I said to bring over extensions, but it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it brought over the Vim extension I was using. There's live share. What's the warning message about here? Why has this got a warning message on it? The extension the extension declares support for older versions of Visual Studio usage. Oh, it's just warning me that like results may vary is what it's warning me about. But I thought there is so that it must have been because that Vim extension is not in the marketplace. I think it's this one. Is it? I think it's this one I was using. Adds a menu full. Here you go. There you go. Pablo, that's what you open up Visual Studio, then you open the file, and then you right click and you open it in NeoVim. uh, you never opened Visual Studio 2022 on this machine, so it imported nothing probably. Ah, that's a good that's a good point. So I wonder what machine it must have been that other computer that I started streaming on because I got the computer I'm on now is that new mini PC that I set up on stream. So I must have opened Visual Studio on the other. In any event, we're not worried about setting it up so Steven can write code at this point. But I do think, full disclosure, I do think I will be using this on stream a little bit when I'm working in C sharp because I would like to actually see like is it because I use Visual Studio 2022 for work stuff, so I would be interested to see like do I notice when I'm switching back and forth, do I notice a difference? What else do we want to take a look at? I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I was expecting it to be significantly different, and it's actually much similar, much more similar. There's the insiders build. Ooh, that's a big window. Only if NeoVim opens in the VS terminal. Yeah. You see here. Can we connect on X? Oh yeah, sure. I've got an X profile here. I'll link it. I'll link it for you. I don't post there much. Just full disclosure, I use Blue Sky way more than I use X. But yeah, for sure, you can follow me on X. Here you go. Let's see, at Yasir. You can find me on X here. There you go. I have a whole long story about why I don't use X very much. It has nothing to do with like Elon Musk or his politics. It has everything to do with the fact that I had an X account for the longest time, and for whatever reason, X suspended my account, and I cannot get. I filed like I've probably filed at this point like 100 appeals, and nobody ever responds to my appeal. So it just kind of pissed me off. So then I went to Blue Sky, made an account on Blue Sky, and just kind of ignored X for a while. And then a few months ago, I created a new X account, which is the one I shared with you. So, yeah, I'm out of the habit of being on X. So if you message me or something, I don't respond. That's why. Oh wow, I've already been. I turned off the music, didn't I? I just realized the music wasn't playing. The vibes are off. All right. Well, I just realized it's already been an hour. um. Oh, I will show you guys. I did end up. If you were here yesterday, I just wanted to show you guys this. If you're here yesterday, I was working on implementing retry logic with an exponential backoff in my Discord bot, and that's done. So I actually merged that earlier today. But what I wanted to show you was yesterday, the implementation I had for the exponential backoff was completely wrong. After I did some testing, it was wrong. So I was just going to show you the correct implementation. I don't know if you guys care, we're curious, but where is it? Whoops. God, this is so zoomed in. I don't know how people work with 150%. There we go. So basically, this is the correct way of calculating the backoff. And honestly, I should probably, if you're going to have multiple instances of your thing running, you probably want to have a jitter in here so they're not synchronized, or if you have multiple threads or something. But I just have one instance of this, so I don't have a jitter. But yeah, I got this implemented, so we're going to see how this works. Those connection issues only really happen like once every 10 days or something like that. So it's probably going to be a little while before this code actually gets tested in production, but it should work. So in any event, Yasir, what you do? So Yasir, my day job. If you want to look me up on LinkedIn, you can go to what is it? https://linkedin.stephenfreeborn.com if you want to kind of like creep on my professional life. But yeah, my day job is I work as a quality engineer. So I do manual and automated testing for a web app, and then in my free time, I like to write code and make content. So that's what I do in my free time. Christoph, .NET 10 and C# 14. Yes, that's the way to live. Let's see. Are you working on your personal brand or job? This is all my personal stuff right now. So I don't do anything really work specific on stream. Like to kind of keep those things separate. What's the difference between C# and .NET? Because I got confused when trying to start with C#. So .NET is the runtime. So .NET is like the common. So basically, .NET supports more languages than just C#, right? So you can write Visual Basic, you can write F#, you can write C#. All those languages, though, get compiled to what's called intermediate language, which the CLR, which is the Common Language Runtime, that basically is the thing that supports all underpins and supports all those different languages. Whereas .NET is more of like the runtime or the framework, the platform. Maybe that's a better way. The platform, right? So .NET encompasses C#, but C# does not encompass .NET. Does that make sense? Yes, sir. Please make it clickable. Oh wow. NYC, I am Android developer. Oh, very cool. Yeah, Android. I've never done any mobile development myself, Yasir. So you could probably teach me a thing or two. Why do I feel like I spelled linked? Oh, I spelled LinkedIn wrong. I didn't. That's not right. It should be http://linkedin.stephenfreeborn.com. Yeah, that will redirect. Oh well, it won't work on my machine because the server that's doing this is hosted in my. This is hosted in my local network. Let me fix that real quick. The joys of hosting your own server. LinkedIn.stephenfreeborn.com. Add. Okay, let me try this again. There we go. Yeah, so that should redirect you. So yeah, try this. Use here. https://linkedin.stephenfreeborn.com. That's my LinkedIn. You're welcome to connect with me there if you want to creep on my my very eclectic professional history. I've not always worked in tech. So have you ever tried Kotlin? No, I've never tried Kotlin. Like I said, I've never done anything. Mostly I write C# and TypeScript, and most things I do are kind of concentrated in web development. You see here, so you're welcome to join our Discord and teach us all about mobile development. I don't know if we have very many mobile developers in our Discord, but if you would want to share your knowledge with us, I know we'd all appreciate it. All right, guys, I am gonna hang up the stream for today and go back to work and finish out my work day before my son's football practice, because we got football practice tonight. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on stream, keeping me company, asking questions. Pablo, thank you for all your very valid critiques of the new Visual Studio. But yeah, I'll probably use that new Visual Studio to write C# on stream over the next couple weeks, couple months, and that way I can get a feel for it. But yeah, otherwise, I hope you guys had a good Thursday so far. It's already Friday for you. I hope you've had a good Friday. Time zones are weird, so in that way. Otherwise, I'll see you guys either tomorrow or maybe in a short or a video. Drop a comment. I always try to reply to everything. So, all right, see you, Christoph. See you, Wilo Gamer Pro. Have a good day. Yasir, you sure? I will definitely connect with you on LinkedIn. Oh, thanks, Yasir. Yeah, join us. We'd love to have you. Arvin, thanks for sharing. Of course, Arvin, yeah. I'm going to try to be diligent about keeping up twice a day, do an hour in the morning, an hour over lunch. So if you see me live, definitely stop in and say hi. It's always nice to see familiar faces. All right, guys. Have a good day.